When I saw that face, I just couldn't help but get emotional. After 20 years, he deserves answers.
He was well dressed and apparently well taken care of, yet no one ever came forward to identify his little body. A child found dead in a DeKalb County cemetery 20 years ago today. The case horrified the metro Atlanta area.
And after 2 decades, it still haunts investigators. Tonight, a new push for answers with the release of a new podcast and a new reconstruction of the victim's likeness.
Fox 5's Jacqueline Schultz joins us now live at the DeKalb County Medical Examiner's office, where investigators still want to identify his remains. Jacqueline?
Yeah, investigators are finally hoping you can give a name for this face and help solve the mystery 20 years later of how a boy's body ended up near a cemetery.
Look at his eyes. We know that the answer is out there.
Investigators named him Dennis. No one knows his real name. February 26, 1999, lying near headstones at a cemetery off Clifton Springs Road in DeKalb County, investigators discovered someone laid out his body. He had been there for months. There were no signs of foul play. 20 years later, no one knows how he died.
From day one, it was heartbreaking to me. And 20 years later, it's even more heartbreaking.
20 years ago, while a reporter at Fox 5, Angeline Hartman was the first one on the scene and didn't stop the search for answers. She stayed on the case, working for America's Most Wanted and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
An unimaginable discovery.
And now in her online podcast, Inside Crime,
somebody has to be missing this child.
She interviews the original police detectives who worked to find who this boy could be.
Can't imagine what happened in this child's life to all of a sudden end up just carefully placed.
The DeKalb Medical Examiner says the boy is possibly between 4 to 7 years old, had some baby teeth, was well cared for and well dressed, wore these Timberland boots, and may be from Georgia or North Florida. Despite an all-out search, no metro schools had a record of the child missing. On the 20th anniversary of the case, this video from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children shows how forensic artists came up with the best picture of a likeness of the little boy called Dennis.
And when I saw that face, I just couldn't help but get emotional. We're looking for his name.